Transmitting live from the Asylum Studios, deep in the bowels of Southwest Texas. It's the Joe Rooz Show, the show where we talk about anything and everything, where nothing is sacred, nothing is watered down, and nothing is PC.
All right. Hey, folks, this is Joe Rooz. It is 19:05 hours on Monday, the 15th of September, 2025. And it is great to be with you guys once again from the pimple on the backside of Texas, the beautiful city of Eagle Pass. And we are going to do the very best we can tonight to bring you the best quality talk radio we can muster without all the bluster. Welcome to the Joe Rooz Show. All right. It's been a long week already, and it's only Monday. It's been one of those days, folks. It's one of those days. Regular job was held today, and trying to recover from the weekend. I hope you guys had a good weekend, though. Hope we were able to catch the shows over the weekend. Saturday, we hosted Barry Luijbregts of podhome.fm, which is always a treat. And, of course, that marked the return visit, actually, of Barry. Barry was our very, very first guest on the very, very first show that we did. When we started this thing, and we had a different name for the show and all that stuff. It was much different back then, and it was audio only, so no video, nothing to look at. So, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun back then, and we had a great conversation on Saturday. So if you haven't checked out the show yet, you need to. Really great information that Barry put out there, and of course, as you know, podhome.fm is our audio host platform. So, to have the owner, CEO of the company on was a treat, and it was really well. It went really well. He announced a lot of interesting things that Podhome was working on, so you need to check that out. Also, Sunday, we had our usual Bible Study Sunday show, which was great. I thought anyway, if I can say so myself. But it's always great just to get together and just open up the Word of God and just study a little bit and talk a little bit. And we talked about, from Proverbs, you talked about dealing with money, which is always a touchy subject with a lot of people. And a lot of folks, like some of the comments that I've got off air were they thought that the show was me trying to pitch for donations and stuff like that, which I was absolutely not doing. And if you paid attention to the show at all, you knew that. You understood that. We were talking about, because we're doing a series on wisdom, and we're talking through Proverbs. And last week we talked about dealing with fear, and then this week dealing with money, and next week we'll talk about something else. And I'm not going to tell you what that is yet. I'll tell you what that is later this week. All right. And then, of course, tonight we have a guest here with us tonight who is waiting in the wings. I see him in the waiting room, so we'll get Steve Sxacks in here very, very shortly. I hope I said that right. If he heard me or not, I don't know yet. So give me a thumbs up if I said it right. There we go. Outstanding. All right, so Steve Sxacks is waiting in the wings for us, and we'll get him on here in just a minute. Got to do some housekeeping, and then and we'll get right to it. All right, so folks, don't forget to head over to our website, joerooz.com. That's joerooz.com. Should be coming up on your screen here momentarily. And when you get over there, open up the contact form and send us over a message. Let us know whatever's on your heart, whatever's on your mind, any questions, comments, cares, concerns that you have, any issues that you might have, any complaints that you might have. Even though I don't want to hear them, just you can send them over anyway. They're just going to get thrown into the dumpster anyway. And any suggestions you have, if you have a guest you'd like us to try to get, or if you have a topic you'd like us to discuss, we'd be more than happy to do that and try to make that happen for you. So let us know. Drop a comment down below. Let us know in the live chat, or send us a comment through the contact form. And if you don't want to do any of that, if you want to go the old school way, you can always email it to me directly at info@joerooz.com. That's info@joerooz.com. Also, just want to remind you to check out the support page. All right, now I'm actually going to ask for donations. So now you can check out the support page. And if you could help us out with a donation, we really would appreciate that. Remember, this is a value for value show. And all that basically means is that if you receive anything of value from what we're putting out, we're asking that you return that value to us in the form of a donation. It could be your time, your talent, or your treasure. It could be 1, 2, or 3 of them. We hope all 3. But it could be all 3 of them. It could be one of them. Doesn't matter. We also have our producer tiers, which we'll talk about at the very, very end of the show, like we always do, because we don't want to take up too much time here at the front end. All right, folks. Ezra Healing, our sponsor, or one of our sponsors. Ezra Healing is a substantial part of the new wellness paradigm currently being born in North America and around the globe. The global citizenry are no longer satisfied with the sick care version of so-called healthcare. Band-Aid medicine, endlessly treating symptoms rather than root causes, must be abandoned as soon as possible. Patient-centric care must be the priority. We need to transition towards the do-no-harm model of private care that places humanity at the forefront of real health and wellness care. In this new model, your entire lifestyle is examined and analyzed to promote and support the totality of your body's integrated systems. Ezra Healing is a solutions-based health promotion and disease prevention grassroots movement that is always evolving to best serve you and your family. For more information, just head over to EzraHealing.com. That's EzraHealing.com, and make sure you let them know that you heard it right here on the Joe Rooz Show, so that they know that their money is being well spent. All right. Now, with all of that said, so folks, today's guest is Steve Sxacks.
Hey, Joe. How you doing?
How you doing, buddy? Steve is a touring punk rocker turned audio engineer, award-winning educator, and now a published author. He's the co-founder of Marston House Recording, one of Philly's most respected recording studios, where he's produced artists across every genre over 16 years. Steve is also the creator of the Marston House Cyphers, a well-celebrated platform for underground hip-hop talent. He's also a U.S. Army veteran. Thank you for your service, sir.
Thank you.
Nonprofit leader, music technology educator. Steve blends discipline, creativity, and authenticity in everything he does. His debut novel, Invasion of the Punk Rockers Who Drink Blood, we have to talk about this one, is a bold fusion of horror, rebellion, and coming-of-age grit. Folks, please welcome Steve Sxacks to the Joe Rooz Show.
Joe, thank you very much for having me. It's so nice to hear all these kind words about myself. I feel like I wrote that, so...
Well, you might have. You know, some of it, I think we did pull some of that from your pod match.
Yeah, awesome. I'm really excited to be here. I checked out a bunch of your episodes and really like what you're doing.
We're very eclectic. We have a wide range of
guests.
Like
that. Yeah, I like that a lot.
We were talking. I was talking to somebody the other day. I actually was the owner of Podhome, our audio platform.
Okay.
I was talking to him about it off the air, but I'll say it here too. This is probably one of the most unique shows you'll get, because you'll get the range of, cartoon characters. I've interviewed a cartoon character, which was very interesting, very early on. I wasn't expecting that, but it was fun. We've interviewed Nobel Peace Prize nominees, paranormal investigators, doctors, lawyers, Playboy models, former Playboy models,
a little bit of everything,
a little bit authors.
I love it.
You name it, we do it, and we do it. We have a great time doing it. And we try to keep it light and fun, and the conversation flowing. So, so if you've been watching some of the shows or listening to some of the shows, I'm going to ask you two very basic, important questions here.
Let's go. Bring it on.
First one is, what's something that most people don't know about you but should?
Well, I mean, I am such an open book. There's not much I feel like people don't know at this point. But for people who know me just professionally, maybe they don't know that I'm still in the military. If you don't know that I'm still in the Guard currently, in the Tennessee Guard. But if you didn't know, everything else, I just keep kind of out there in my music career and my entertainment career. So that's one thing that I think a lot of people would be surprised to hear. I recently went back in. That's where it's. I keep those things very separate. There's not a ton. I mean, everybody in the military knows me as a musician, but a lot of people in the music world don't know me from the military world.
Yeah, because I think, and I'm not saying this as a joke. I'm saying seriously. Most people don't expect somebody who's involved with the punk rock scene to be involved in the military in any way. So,
no, they don't. They're very opposite of each other. It was a shocker for a lot of people when I went in initially.
Right, I would imagine. Yeah, sure.
Especially in the band I was in at the time, very very political. I was like, especially at that time, like all those early Alex Jones documentaries, I was super into those. So very like anti-government kind of thing going on. And I just kind of had a real big misconception about the military. Honestly, I thought I was going to go there and everybody's going to be a meathead and just like, it just wasn't the case. Some things you just don't know until you do.
I get it.
Yeah, joining the military was like such a big eye-opening thing. I mean, everybody's there, and 90% of the people are there because they need health insurance, or they're going to school, or their grandpa did it or something. So it's just like you meet so many, or trying to get citizenship at that time. I think they ended that program, but you meet people from all over the country, all over the world, and it's just like everybody that I met is my brother. Even if we shared vastly different cultures, vastly different political affiliations or thought processes, it's like everybody's there just trying to like survive. So it's just such an amazing like experience. I recommend it for everybody, honestly, even if you don't necessarily agree with the government or whatever, but it's a great experience.
Well, yeah, I have a lot of my friends, especially the friends that I went through high school with. They enlisted right out of high school, and they had a great experience. And something, a lot of times you come out of that too, you with something that's valuable, with a trade, something that you could use in the real world. A buddy of mine, who I feel terrible to this day about maybe that much. We were gonna enlist together, and I got delayed the day I was supposed to actually go down and finally sign everything, and he went up ahead of me, and he signed up and all that stuff, and I never went, and I just kind of let it go. And he was all upset for a little while because we were supposed to go together. But
that's a similar story that I have. My best friend since I was 5 years old, he came to me and he's like, I'm joining the Marines. I already had the recording studio. I already have been touring as a musician for years, and I had never thought about the military, but immediately I was like, me too. So we went down to the Marine recruiter, and I have all these visible tattoos, and he's like, yeah, you're not getting in, buddy. And he's like, you can't do it. So we went to the Air Force. They said the same thing. Then we went to the Coast Guard, and they're like, never open. Apparently the Coast Guard recruiting in Philadelphia just doesn't exist. They have a physical location, but nobody works there.
Nice.
So the Army, they were like, come on, come in. We can waiver all those. You're good. We got you. So I'll never forget going through MEPS and them just literally every tattoo on my body writing down and wavering. But yeah, me and my buddy went in together, and they lied to us and said there was a buddy program. There's not. We got sent to 2 different basic trainings and everything. But despite the lying recruiters, it's still a great time.
Oh, sure. I'm sure it is. Like my friend, never had a negative, really negative thing to say about it, to be honest with you. Aside from the I guess the shock of going from civilian life to military life when you're going through basic, and well, in his case, he went through the Navy, so it was boot. So, you know, there has to be that shock and that change in lifestyle. But other than that, he never complained.
I mean, there's definitely, you get there, and once you go through like the processing and you're getting your head shaved with everybody, and you're going down the hall of needles, which is, they're just jabbing you with God knows what throughout this line, and then you get the peanut butter shot in your butt. There's just that all throws you off, and then you're getting screamed at and all that stuff. But I loved it. It's just kind of I fell in at that time too. As in a lot different shape. I'm a big guy now, but at the time, I was super fit and ready to go, super gung ho, high speed, they say. But yeah, it's a culture shock. But once you do it, it's hard to come out of it. Yeah. This is now my third time re-enlisting. I was out for 5 years teaching, working in the nonprofit world. Studio is still open. That's a whole, that's its own thing. But, right. Me and my wife were in Houston for a while, and then COVID happened, moved up to Tennessee. And again, the visible tattoos came back to haunt me. Tennessee is a little different than Texas is, where Houston, they don't really care as much about the tattoos. Everybody has them. But our town has 1,200 people. So they were like, not trying to have you come teach here, buddy. So I was like, all right, let me go check out what the Guard has to offer in Tennessee.
Yeah, I got you. When I came here when I moved to Texas, I'm from New York originally.
Oh, I'm from Philly, so I'm familiar with you.
Not too far. So when I came here, not military basically, but it was trying to find a church, because I'm a Bible believing Christian. I'm a born again Christian, so I was looking for a good church to get to, and I have my share. And I had others that were a little more visible at the time. I remember walking into one church and being introduced to people, and I'm wearing a short sleeve shirt and going to shake hands, and all they did was stare at that. And I was like, all right, so this isn't going to work,
Right.
But yeah, I'm in a good church now. They're great people. I love them. They're fantastic.
Oh, yeah, that's important. I mean, for me, I also am a Christian, and I was going to get my doctorate and I'm still going to, but I'm pausing right now. Just school really took it out of me, and I got 2 kids and everything, but I was getting my doctorate in urban ministry.
Nice.
So I'll get back to it, but I had to put a pause on it. I was trying to do that, plus the Guard, plus the kids, plus the studio. And I was my assistant chaplain at my American Legion post. And there was just too much going on. I couldn't do the work-life balance.
No, I hear you. I served for a little while as an associate pastor at a church up in New York. Our senior pastor was incredibly sick, and he asked me if I would be interested in stepping into the role. And I said, well, if the church agrees to it and it's a unanimous vote on it, yeah, then I'll do it. And it was. And so I served there for about almost 2 years.
That's awesome.
I've done street preaching. I teach Bible studies on Sunday, on my Sunday show.
I heard that.
It was. So I love the book. I got saved in July of 2000, July 20th, 2000. So 25 years in the fight, and it's been a great one. It's a challenge. You have your good days, your bad days. You rise and fall. But the scripture says that a righteous man falls 7 times and gets back up.
Right.
So you just got to keep on going. Just got to keep going. And for you need to get back to school and finish it up and get to work.
Yes. No. It is very important. It's on my list. I want to do it the best that I can. Everything I do, I like to do the best that I can. And I feel like if I can't give it the 100, which is what I found immediately, the essays and everything. And I did my bachelor's, my master's, and went right into the doctorate like immediately. It was just like boom, boom, boom. And
that's probably the best way to do it too, because I think if you put it off for a little while, you'll tend to not really put your full effort into it. You'll get out of the routine of it.
I felt the same way. And then it was just once my son was born, he's something. That kid is something, he's amazing. Like both my kids are amazing, but they're a handful. And
how old are
they? 2 and 5.
Oh, that's great age though.
Yeah, they're awesome. I mean, we were out right before this. We were out at the park running around, and that's the best thing about owning your own business. And you can do whatever you want. So
Yeah.
I get to hang out with them all day. My wife also, she runs her business and does a couple other things too. So she's at home. We're all kind of at home, getting to do whatever we need to do. And
That's great.
yeah, it's a very blessed life.
Yeah, I have two. I have my boy and my boy and my girl. My boy is 26, and my girl is man, she's pushing 30. Wow.
Well, who since you're a little more experienced than which one was harder to raise, the boy or the girl?
The boy.
The boy. I'm already feeling that too.
Yeah,
He just has like so much like testosterone already, and he'll swing on you at 2 years old.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's one thing. But with my son had some disabilities. When he was about 6 months old, he had a febrile seizure, which he lost oxygen for a little bit. It seemed like forever, but it was probably a few seconds, and I was at the time I was a licensed, EMT. So I knew what to do, but when it's your own, you forget.
Right.
So there was that quick delay when I realized it. So I think nobody's ever been able to definitively say yes or no, but I think that little period of time where he went without oxygen affected him in the long term. So he was diagnosed at a young age with Asperger's, and he has a few other issues along those lines. But if you met him today, I mean, you wouldn't know. If I didn't tell you, you wouldn't have no idea. I am incredibly proud of him for what he's done. He's really living on his own right now. He has a girlfriend, and he actually lives in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
I forget where he said he moved to. It was just a recent move, but
The greatest state.
He loves it. He absolutely loves it. It's a beautiful state too. I mean, absolutely beautiful.
It is.
But so he's up there, and my daughter she's married. She has 3 kids. So I'm a granddad 3 times, believe it or not. I don't feel like it.
No, you look great for 3-time granddad.
Well, yeah, thank you. It's shaving the head and coloring the face. That's what does it. But she graduated with her MBA. She graduated with honors about a year and a half ago.
Awesome.
While she was pregnant with baby number 2. And raising baby number 1, and she's married. Her husband's there, but her husband's he works like a dog. To take care of her, and I am incredibly proud of her for being able to do all that stuff. And she worked, and she went to school, and she took care of the kids, and she was pregnant. I don't know how she did it, but she did it, and it was. I'm incredibly proud of both of them. That they really are great, and enjoy them now when they're at the younger age, man. I'll be honest. I'm just being honest. Just 2 dads talking right now. I wish that I could get them back at that age, even just for a day. Just for even just a day.
Even now, it's going so fast. My phone every day changes the picture of just between the 2 of them. It's like thousands of pictures with them, and it's like I'll see pictures of them when they're 6 months old to a year, and it's just it gets me every time. I'll sit and just look at them. It's just flying by. And I know what you mean too when you said that split second felt like it was forever.
Mm-hmm.
Both my kids had to go to the NICU when they were born, and I was a mess. I don't care about any kind of like tough army guy stuff or tough music guy. Like, it's the hardest thing ever when something's going on with your kids and you just don't know what to do.
Yep.
Terrifying, honestly. I remember talking to my dad the first time. My daughter, they were both C-section. My son was like an emergency C-section, and they took my daughter though in like a bubble thing, like right as she couldn't breathe. So they had her in this bubble thing and wheeled her off into the NICU. And I'm like looking at my wife, like, oh, they got her organs out, from the C-section, putting them back in, and she's like, go with her, and I'm like, and then went with the baby and just sat with her for a while, and it was just a mess. Yeah. My dad finally got there. He drove down, and he got me back together a little bit. He's like, it's gonna be okay. All that stuff you need a dad for,
Absolutely. When my kids were born, my dad. I don't know what the freak to do. What do I do with this? What do I do with that? Dad was great, man. And he loved them. He really did. My dad passed away a couple of years ago.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, that's all right. It's he got very sick toward the end, and he knew it was time, and so it wasn't totally unexpected. And then my mom passed away just a year and a half ago. So it was all a mess. It's been crazy, but they love the kids. They adore them, and probably the best feeling in the world was when I was able to bring the kids over to their place and see them interact with the kids and play with the kids. And it's like, the next generation coming up. It was great to see. It's great. So I hope that your parents are just throwing themselves into the kids and really totally enjoying them.
Well, big part of why we moved to Tennessee was to be closer to my dad.
Awesome.
So he spoils them. My son's really into dinosaurs, and my dad will buy these giant dinosaurs for him. And his wife, they both spoil both of them. My mom actually still lives in Houston. So whenever they see her, they call her Nana. She comes to town, and Nana brings the gifts. So it could be a bike, a rollerblades.
That's
it doesn't
what you're supposed to do.
Exactly. Yeah. So they both of my parents are great with them, and my step parents. So they're very loved kids.
Awesome. That's awesome. All right, let's get on to the next here. So what's your go-to? Because we'll sit here all day just talking about the kids. I'm
a talker. I'm sorry.
So am I. Trust me. Sometimes I'll interview people, and I have a friend who watches the show, and he'll send me a text and say, "Shut the F up and let the guy talk."
There's never like an awkward silence, which is good.
Yeah, no, that's what makes it engaging too.
Right.
So what's your go-to beverage to help you unwind at the end of the day?
Oh man. Go-to, I know it's weird. I don't drink too much anymore. Like I kind of got all that, touring for so many years. The party life, I've gotten out of that. So occasionally, I'll bust out like some wine or something. I have a taste for wine, but I can't do it too often because I'll drink the whole bottle. But just like a nightly unwind, I really got into this Rise like hot cocoa mushroom stuff.
Really?
Yeah, it's so good. And I'm an insomniac. Like I'm a night owl worker. So I like to sit up whenever I have projects, I spend my days with the kids, and I do most of my work at night. I write the books at night. Mix people's songs at night. Any kind of project I have creatively or otherwise is a nighttime deal. So because of that, after I'm done work, then I want to sit and watch TV or sit and do something else just to kind of get ready for bed.
Sure. Yeah.
So I'll end up being up all night. But that Rise mushroom hot cocoa, it's like full of magnesium or something, and it's delicious. And I don't know, it just hits the spot, and then I go to sleep.
Well, that's good though. I'm for a while that I was a pretty much strict bourbon guy. That would be my thing.
I collect a lot of cool bourbons, and whiskeys. Oh yeah, because again, especially when I did. I briefly spent a wild season as a wildland firefighter, and up in Montana, and they had a lot of Pendleton and like really cool bottles. So got super into it, and we were drinking all the time out there. And like I said, now with the kids, I just have to know myself. And once I start doing something, I do everything to like in excess. So I know I'll just be, you
and I are a lot alike.
Yeah.
Things just kind of get out of control. Like I am definitely a night owl. I will sit up until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, have to be at the regular job by 8.
Yeah.
And I'm just working on computer stuff and just playing around, audio and just rewriting things. And it's just, you throw yourself into it. You it's what you love. So you just throw yourself into it, and time just runs away. And then when it comes to the bourbons, I mean, I love my bourbons, and what I like to do is, and I've told this many times, is I like to pair bourbons with cigars. So I'm always looking for a new flavor, a new batch of something. And one of my recent favorites has been the Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel. A great bourbon. A friend of mine turned me on to it, and that pairs really well with a nice dark cigar, like a Maduro, triple Maduro, like the Camacho triple Maduro is a beautiful cigar to go with that. And then you also have the Rocky Patel series, goes great with the small batch. The 1792 stuff is great. 1792 is my go-to. I don't know if you had that one. I've never seen that until I came here to Texas, and I saw it here.
Texas has some great liquor stores.
Yeah, that's where I live.
Do you go into any like social clubs with the cigars and a drink?
No, I don't have time for that, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Between the regular job, 'cause my regular job is a 40-hour job, plus I'm on call 24/7 for it. And then I do the show 6 times a week. So
Yeah.
I don't have time to do that stuff. That's why I'm still single, So, I just don't have, I have no time to fit anything else into my life right now. So everything I do here. I cook for myself. I have my two Frenchies, my 2 French bulldogs. I cook for myself. I cook for them. And I spend my time with them here around the house doing whatever I got to do. It's just easier. Awesome. And I like it too. I've come to, over the last few years, I've come to value my peace and my privacy.
Very important things. I'm
not knocking people who are married. I mean, I was married for 30 years of my life.
Right.
So it's I don't disparage anybody who's married. Enjoy it. It's great. If you found your partner, that's great. Stick with it. Fight for it. Do everything you can to keep it all together. But for myself, I've come to appreciate the privacy. I've come to appreciate that peace, and I'm not willing to give that up for anything.
It's definitely full of its challenges.
I know I sound like an asshole, but
no, you don't. I trust me. I get it. I did the stupid army guy thing, first time. This is my second marriage. I gotten married right out of basic training, bought a car, all that stuff. I went and got a black Impala, and just everything that you hear. It's all true. It's a stereotype for a reason. It really happens.
Okay.
So that didn't work out, and now I'm here.
All right. Well, that's good though. And you got a family going, so that's fantastic. You're in a good spot, man. You're in a really good spot. So your skill set comes from a variety of different experiences that you've been through. When did you first become interested in the music world?
That was pretty much my whole life. I knew I'd be an entertainer in some sort of way. I always was in plays, and just very interested in entertaining people. And my dad played guitar, and I just was, my uncle gave me my first guitar when I was maybe 11 or 12. And me and my friends started a horrible punk rock band. None of us knew how to play, which is that's what's required to start a punk rock band, is not knowing how to play your instruments. So we were bad, and we started playing local gigs and stuff. And a lot of the older guys in the scene just kind of took us under their wings. And especially one in particular, Chuck Treese. He was a legendary musician. He was in Bad Brains. He's done stuff with, Green Day and Mick Rad and all these other bands. So he really kind of looked out for me and made sure I didn't get into anything too bad. And I'd get to carry his equipment in and get into shows for free and all that stuff. Incredible musician, can play anything. And he was kind of like my local icon, and then once I started really diving into different music, I was huge into Social Distortion. So Mike Ness was a huge inspiration, and Nick Cave. I'm a huge Nick Cave fan. And as I just kept diving, and not just punk rock, I've always had a very eclectic mix. I love Nina Simone, and I like rock, I like jazz, I like soul, I like everything, So I genuinely, I like all music, but there is something redeeming in every music. There's something good.
You can find
something. Exactly. So but yeah, that's really, once I started getting into the bands, it just took off from there. I mean, I was 12 years old when I said I was going to own a recording studio, and at 19 we opened it up. So it just.
But were you always interested in punk, or was something else that kind of drew you in first?
No, punk rock was really my first music love. When in elementary school, my one buddy Jordan, and I was saying my friend Chad, his older sister. He's who I went in the military with. His older sister used to always wear Misfits t-shirts and stuff. And then my buddy Jordan, his older brother, was really into it. And my dad was vaguely into, same with my mom. They liked the Clash and stuff like that. But so just these influences, that's just the stuff that kind of stuck with me, was the punk rock. And then I started really getting into collecting records at a young age. And I started buying there's a record label called Epitaph. And order just whatever I saw in the catalog. And that's actually how I got into hip hop. Was I got a guy named Sage Francis. He had an album called A Healthy Distrust. And the album came, and I had no idea what it was, and I put it in the record player, and it was like a hip hop album, and I was like, "What is this?" On a punk rock label, but it was like hip hop with punk rock lyrics, and it just blew me away. I just never heard anything like that before, and that's where I fell in love with that. I mean, I bought that, and then my next hip hop album was a DMX album, and then I started going to local Philly shows and got really into the New York scene and the Philly scene. And I made a career off of hip hop music, really. I mean, my career definitely started in punk rock. I got signed young and we were touring. That's where I saved up a lot of the money to open the studio. And then, hip hop community just opened their arms. And now I kind of go between all these different genres.
Oh, that's good. I like that. That's a good story. How did it feel the first time you got up on stage playing punk?
Oh, there's nothing. The first time we got on stage, again, we sucked. We're a terrible 3-chord, just like corporate control. It didn't make any, you know what I mean? Like, what do you know about corporate control? You're 12 years old,
Right.
Just regurgitating different bands' lyrics that we heard, basically. But as it progressed, it was still an amazing feeling. And then as it progressed to bigger shows, going to real recording studios, like it being more serious, having to have entertainment lawyers, and when we got signed to QCR, they flew us all around the world, rented vans with a driver who rented equipment. All we had was our guitars and drumsticks. Everything else they rented, they took care of. Wow. And would drive us all around. We did, 6 months on the road at a time. Once that ended, and we had to kind of do it more DIY, things started getting shaky. We were used to a hotel every night. And, after that, we're like asking people at the show, like, can we crash with you, please? But,
that's gotta be awkward.
Yeah. But it never changed. Sometimes it was, and sometimes it wasn't. The punk rock scene, like the community is really cool with that. It's like they will give you a place to stay and something to eat. So it's cool like that. But, it's a lot different once you had the taste of the finer things, which led me to want to really do the studio, because it's like, all right, how many punk rock bands are at the level where they don't have to work? And that was my thought process. It's like, the ones that hit that mainstream success, and now it's actually kind of more and more. Punk is getting more mainstream than it ever was, but at that time it was like, which you said, that's funny. I know, it's crazy.
Weird.
It is weird, right? It's like this counterculture thing. But hip hop was the same way when it started. It was very counterculture, and now it's the music. Like,
when I was young, it was the Sex Pistols. They were like,
that was
that was like the name band in punk.
Well, you being in New York, you had CBGBs, and you had like the, punk rock really was the East Coast punk rock scene was amazing. And I found like touring, like when we'd go to like Tennessee, that's why I love Tennessee. We'd come down here, we'd go to Kentucky, and we'd do 3 shows in Kentucky, and it'd be packed out. We'd do a house party or something. And we always had like a stencil that we had our logo on it, and you could come to our merch booth for $5. We'll spray paint the stencil on your t-shirt. We'd have lines out the door. Every kid in the party, every kid at the show wanted the stencil. And so we always did really well. But again, I just knew, I was like, this is like a finite experience. I need to set myself up for the future. So we opened the studio, and the rest is kind of history there.
That's pretty cool. That's a good story, man. I like that. Now, I know we already talked about your military service and your time there and some of the memories you had of it. But what about the Army changed the way you think about music or your life?
Well, again, it changed the way I think about life in a lot of ways, because I had just so many, misconceived like beliefs about what I thought I was going to get there, and everybody's going to be like, I can't. And this is like only a few years after 9/11. So I'm expecting everybody to get there like, I just can't wait to go over there and kill these people. And I met one guy like that in 12 years. Wow. One single person, so it's the odd man out. It's just like with everything, you hear stories about people, and you start thinking that must be everybody. And it's never the case. There's no like bad group of people on earth. there's bad people in a group. But there's no bad group. You know what I mean?
That's
so
actually profound.
It's true. It's true. You know, I've had plenty of misconceived notions about plenty of types of people, and I can get along with anybody. You know, I mean, there's certain things that just like are non-starters for me. Like, you know, I have mixed race kids, so it's that if somebody's gonna call my kids the N-word or something, that's a non-starter for me. But there's things like that I just can't handle. And again, being from the East Coast, it's very diverse. So I'm used to being around all my friend group has always been like that too. It's very mixed, and I think that's a great way to be, because we just have so much more in common than you really, you know, going in the Army, and I had 2 friends from China trying to get their citizenship. And it's like, these kids, they love to fish. They like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, you think you're on another part of the world, so there's no way we could have anything in common. It's like, you literally like all the same things that I like. Right. You speak broken English, but we like all the same stuff. Or it's just, it kind of, people shut off. I think they kind of block their blessings a little bit when they are not open to people because of how they look, or you know, their religion or whatever, where they're from, because there's a friend there for you. And the military definitely taught me that. Yeah, I had misconceived notions about the South. Yeah, I've had, and some of my friends do too now. You know, I'm always like, come down to Tennessee, come visit. And they're like, oh, well, I don't know. Tennessee is real, you know. And I'm like, it's not like that, man. Like, you hear stuff that I'm a big, I don't trust mainstream media at all.
You shouldn't.
Yeah, they will tell you everything that is crap. And again, I don't trust it on either side of the board, because you could listen to the same story told by both the left and right sides, and you'll get the same story, completely polar opposite story. And the truth is always in the middle somewhere.
Exactly.
And I think most people just don't have the time or the will to just look in the middle. So coming out here has been amazing. But yeah, the military just really opened my eyes to that. And as far as music goes, I got a lot of opportunities to explore the music in the military, which is, you wouldn't even think that, but there's a ton of musicians that are in the military. But it's, again, like I was saying earlier, a lot of people from the outside don't know much about my military career, but a lot of people from the military know about my music career. So it's just not that I never hide it. I got the veteran license plate. You know, I have Army tattoos all over me. It's not something I hide. I'm very, very proud of it, but it doesn't often come up. You know, in other circles, people be like, did you ever serve in the military? It's like, yeah, absolutely. But I don't record too many rappers who go, were you in the Army? You know what I mean? It's not a topic of conversation that comes up very often.
I get you. I totally get you. So now you work as a music educator,
Yes.
a nonprofit leader, helping young people find their voice through art, especially when the world tells them to stay quiet. Now, can you tell us about a time where you helped a young musician find their voice through your studio or through your teaching?
For sure. I mean, I could tell you 50 stories, but I'll since you're in Texas, I'll tell you a Texas story.
All right.
I was at a nonprofit school in Houston called Workshop Houston. I was there for a few years. Awesome, amazing school. They really they give so much to the community and so much to these kids that just have nothing. And being there and just hearing some of these kids' stories, and you know, I related to so many of these kids, especially some of them, you know, they're the quote unquote, I don't believe in this term, but you know, they'll get labeled like a bad kid or a problem kid. And I don't think any kid is bad, but they'll get that label on them and people will give up on them. So, and we were a nonprofit school, so we have a board of directors, and anytime they would come in, you know, the kids would have to like be on their best behavior and dress up. And I remember the first time I was there, it really threw me off because I'd never worked in nonprofit. This was my first nonprofit. And they were just like, I'm like, what's going on? Why are you know, they're dressing different, they're acting different. And It's like, well, you know, they said we got to be on our best behavior because the white people are coming in today. And I'm just like, it made me so mad. Like I was actually like furious because for me, you know, we'd have staff meetings, and the kids, like some of the board would just like talk about these kids, label these kids a price. Like, well, each one of these kids costs this much to get them through and all this stuff. And I'm just like, these are kids, like they're kids trying to make it in the world. And this is what you view them as. So I literally would stay every single day after school and let them work on music as long as they want. I would drive them home. I would, on the weekends, I would go to their houses. I'd have dinner with their families. I knew all their parents. I would take kids out shop. I spent more money on my check on these kids than I did on myself.
Wow.
I would take, I had my twins, Simon and Simeon. I would take them to the buffet. I'd get them new shoes. I was their third party in their family therapy sessions. It was like I really immersed myself into these kids, and now several of them are actually working as engineers.
Well, that's
awesome.
awesome.
A couple of them have jobs at studios. I remember when I left, it was one of the hardest things I ever did was leaving that place, honestly. But yeah, just seeing what these kids did and what, where they came from and where they are now, is like, I'm getting a little misty eyed even talking about it. Just honestly, they were my first kids, I guess.
Yeah, well, and you know what? It's great when you hear stories like that. It really is, and especially when it's a success story. There's so many stories that end up not with a happy ending, but when you have the stories that do have a happy ending, it just makes the whole thing worthwhile. I think every experience you have when you're working with kids is important and worthwhile, but no matter which direction it goes, if you make even the smallest amount of impact in their life, I think that's huge.
I agree. And again, that's why I don't believe in the bad kid term. A lot of kids, they don't have a dad or they don't have a mom around. Or
I just call them
with
evil. That's all.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
I related to it growing. I was the class clown. I was always getting suspended for doing stupid stuff. I'd always had a joke. And I actually, as soon as I was able to tour, I dropped out of school and went on tour.
Do you know what the difference is between the class clown and the class comedian?
What?
The class comedian gets the class clown to do all the stuff to get in trouble.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was
I was the class comedian. I had my friend Scott, who was the class clown. I used to do the same. Scott, I'm sorry.
No, that's perfect. I love that. I'm stealing that one.
Go ahead.
But no, they so I just, like I said, I related to it. And when I would hear other adults talking down about these kids in meetings and stuff, and most of the staff was amazing. Like everybody really was, I'm not trying to sound virtuous. Everybody was really on that same level. All these people put in the time, but the board, the people who oversee, the overseers, they're just, it's a different story. So, and I've worked with kids in Philadelphia. I've worked with kids there. I do online teaching as well. So like I've worked with kids all over the place, and kids just need somebody there that will listen to them and believe in them. And
was there something that happened or what made you want to focus your attention on kids?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I've always just like, I've always really enjoyed just teaching what I know. I think that's what started it. Was me and my business partner, Ethan. We founded the studio together. We started teaching college kids first.
Mm-hmm.
And college kids are already kind of ruined. They already have they already think they know everything. So when they get to you and they're doing their senior internships, we were partnered with so many schools, and they would be coming to do their senior internships, and you'd have to completely break them down. It's like, who taught you that this is wrong? Like, and they didn't want to be broken down. And then you put them behind the captain seat of the session and they don't know what to do. But with middle and high school kids, they're a fresh piece of clay. You can completely mold them and teach them the right way from the jump. They haven't been tainted from anybody else who thinks they know what they're talking about. So yeah, I mean, I love teaching from the jump, but that was my first time teaching kids younger than college age. And it just was like, wow, this is for me right here. And we still do teach college kids. I'll do online courses with them, or anytime I'm back in Philly, I'll do like an in-person, but, it's again, breaking their bad habits is a lot harder than taking a middle schooler and teaching them how to, record something.
Yeah. Now, how do you think music can help youth, especially if they're struggling with feeling left out, or not being heard?
I think that music is like incredible with any art. That it's an incredible way to express yourself. Even me, if I go a week without creating something, like my wife hates me because I'm not a nice guy. Like I just start bottling everything up, and you could tell I'm getting frustrated. But if I just having a release, and the kids just they want a way to express themselves, and I think music is such a like controlled way to express yourself where you're not going to get in trouble. I mean, I'm big on freedom of expression, so it's like I never minded like cursing or whatever in music. It doesn't bother me when the kids do that too much. I mean, there's exceptions, obviously. It's like don't confess to some crime on your song at school, but
things, yes,
yeah, some choice language here and there to really like push your art forward. It's not going to bother me too much. But yeah, I think it's an amazing way to express yourself and just get all this like bottled like energy up, especially for young boys. I mean, and young girls too, but young boys, like whenever Hurricane Harvey, were you in Texas for Harvey?
When was that? Because I'm here 10 years, so I probably was.
That was 2016 or 17.
I was here. Yeah, I just got here toward the end of 2016, early 2017.
Okay, yeah. So you were definitely there then. Hurricane Harvey, we had to shut down for. I mean, the whole city was crazy, but we had to shut down for a while, and then right after that, we had a freeze come through and froze all the pipes in the school, and they all busted. So we had no bathrooms, so we couldn't do like real class. So we were scrambling, figuring out what to do. So we started this little like sports league that we'd go down to the park and just play sports with the kids all day. And but that was a blast. But you could just tell like it's fun, but it's not the same way to get all your like built up aggression out or anything. So we started having some fights here and there and just different things. You could see like when everybody's in we had 5 studios there, and when everybody's in the studios and they're recording, or we also had other art classes too. They had a style shop where kids got to like create clothes. And then we had the dance shop where that's where, a lot of the younger kids and the girls would usually be in the dance shop. And then we had like a robotics class. So it's like there was something for everybody there, and they're still open. Amazing place. Like if anybody's looking to support a nonprofit, check out Workshop Houston. But whenever they weren't creating, you could see the things starting to bubble up. But whenever it's creations happening, it's just like it's amazing. Like there's just no problems.
Yeah, let's get into your book because I'm
okay.
I just realized what time it is.
I have it right here. If anybody,
we're gonna get. Are you okay with going over the hour? You good?
Yeah. Whatever you want to do. I don't want to throw your deal off.
Oh no, we're good. We're good. So let's get into the book. So you describe your book as having an insane amount of sentimental value.
Oh yes.
The story is incredible, and it's unlike anything you've ever read. Before writing Invasion of the Punk Rockers Who Drink Blood, what experiences in your life made you want to write the book?
Well, being in Philly, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Trauma. It was like a B movie studio.
I heard of it. I don't know much about it, but I did hear the name of it.
They did like the Toxic Avenger and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So those old, really horrible B movies. I was such a big fan of that stuff as a kid.
Me too.
Yeah, like the cheesier, the better. Me too. Yeah. There's one called Poultrygeist, Night of the Chicken Dead. And it's
yes.
Yeah. It's like a haunted KFC type situation. It's so good.
I was the only one in the world that probably saw that. That's that was a funny movie, man.
I love it. I love all those movies. So I had the fortune of meeting Lloyd Kaufman. He's the owner and founder of Trauma. And I was 15. I met him and I'm like, what would it take for you to get my movie made? And he's just like, do you have a movie? And I was like, yeah. He's like, what's it called? And I was like, I didn't have anything. I was like, Invasion of the Punk Rockers, Who Drink Blood, the musical. And he's just laughing. He's like, look, Ed, if you really have a movie, get in touch with me and we'll see what we could do. So I'm home just typing away like this horrible like movie script. I took the musical out when I wrote the book, but the original concept was way different than what it was. You know, now I'm a 15-year-old punk rock kid who's just, you know, the original concept was something about corporate zombies or something. It was horrible. But I just loved the title. I gave up on the original one, and throughout the years, I'd come back and revisit it. And eventually I scrapped the whole thing, kept the title, kept a few characters, rewrote the whole thing. And it's really rooted in a lot of experiences I've had from being like a touring musician, and just dealing with the world, because it does have a lot about just the world and what kids have to go through.
Yeah.
You know, I describe it as like they're fighting like the real world monsters and monsters.
Okay.
So it's rooted in life, and it's rooted in music, and it's rooted in like fantasy.
So is this going to be a major motion picture or what? Are we going to get this done?
I'm working on it. One of my buddies, he's my Sony rep. He's trying to help me make that happen. I was told I have to have the second one done to show that I'm serious about the series. So I'm not going to have this one be 20 years. You know, this one took me 20 years from the day I met Lloyd to getting it done. But
I was actually just going to ask you that because I saw a Facebook post of yours that said it was a 20-year project.
It was a 20-year project. So now the sequel. I'm getting through it. I know where it's going to go now. Well, you know, I just needed to kind of get this first one out to get there.
So what challenges did you face when you were writing the book?
Again, that work-life balance is, you know, the kids, they need me 24/7. They're daddy's kids. They want to play all day. We're having a dance party till 10. I'm trying to, and both of them don't want to go to bed. So it's just like, I think we were up all night playing Danny Go dance party last night. So any time I could get them to bed, I would sit and just write, you know, so I'd be up till 4 o'clock in the morning writing, and then wake up with the kids the next day. So that was the biggest challenge, was just, you know, and I kind of, pushed all my other responsibilities to the side. I wasn't taking in any mixing. I just kind of let my interns do all that, and the book was my main focus.
Nice. So in writing the book, did it how do I put it? Did it reveal anything to you about yourself, about others around you in the music industry?
I mean, it revealed to myself that I am like maybe a little bit too much of a perfectionist. My wife would definitely agree with that. This should not have taken me this long to do, but it also revealed that I think I needed the experiences that I've had to get to the point to write something like this, because it does have, there is a little bit of a religious aspect to it. There's so many different real world aspects that I might not have been able to speak about at 15. So I'm glad that it went how it did. I'm not a person who typically does regrets. I think, you know, everything you do leads to where you need to be and where you're supposed to be. Even the hardest things, they lead you to where you're supposed to be. So I have no regrets about it, but you know, it definitely led me to that. Like, maybe I should stop needing everything to be so perfect and just throw it out there.
Yeah, and it does go back to what you said about balancing life, you know, because you're a busy guy. You got the family you're taking care of. You got work at the studio. You got all this stuff going on around you. Finding that balance and keeping things in perspective is incredibly important. And I heard the kids in the background.
Oh, yeah, they're back there yelling.
And that's great, you know, because in a couple of minutes, Charlie, my boy, is going to be barking at the door to let me know it's time to eat. So, but it's hard. It's hard to find the balance and all of that stuff. And I think you're doing a great job with it. I really do. And
I mean, I'm sacrificing a little. You see the bags under my eyes and everything, but you know, I'll take that
now while you can, and reap the rewards of it later on.
Exactly.
You know, that's the way you have to look at it. And over the years of doing this, I'm sure you met a lot of incredibly fascinating musicians.
Oh yeah. Most of my heroes, I've met them, or you know, I've given a lot of them rides home. You know what I mean? I have a lot of their numbers now, and it's weird to listen to some of their music now at this point because I've recorded them or know them on a deeper level. But I've definitely met a lot of cool people. There's, like I said, I can't regret anything. It's been a great journey.
Does it? It's just off the book question. Do you, when you've recorded somebody and then you're in the studio with them, you hear the raw recording, and then you hear the final product? What's the diff? Like, can you find the differences and say, okay, I know in between this he goofed here, we had to stop, we had to start again, and all that?
Oh yeah.
Like, does that ruin the music for you?
Music in general is kind of ruined for you as an engineer. I tell my students that right from the jump, especially my college students, because once you're listening for, I call it like crafting your analytical ear. So once you've crafted that and you could pick out everything you're looking for, the average listener is not listening for the bass guitar separate from the guitar, is listening for synth sound, listening to how they mic the overheads, listening for miking techniques, and listening for all the different pieces of the drum and the toms, how they're panned and everything. And that's something as an engineer you have to do. So it kind of does take away the like fascination about it, but it's a beautiful thing to be involved in. I think the engineer is the least, gets the least amount of credit, but the most important part of a song, because I call it create the environment that you want a listener to be in. So when I'm telling my students all the time, I'm like, listen, you need to take your reverbs and all these different effects and shape this the way that you want a listener to listen to it. So do you want them to feel like they're in the middle of a forest or in the middle of a cave when this reverb swells up on a cymbal and then there's a dead silent drop and then it just pounds back in? How do you want to make them feel when you're listening to it? And a raw recording, just a band doing a raw recording, the final product is so different. I think so many bands would never make it if it was just up to their musicianship, but having a good engineer really can change the way that you just feel about a song.
Yeah. See, I judge a band by their live performance, and if they need that, the name of it just flipped out of my head. The auto-tune.
Oh.
If they need an auto-tune, you've lost me. I am not interested in what you have to do. And if you have to have backing, like pre-recorded backing.
Oh yeah.
That's no good.
That's a whole different beast right there. I mean, auto-tune at this point, pretty much every song that's out has a form of auto-tune, just not like what you think when you hear the word. When you think auto-tune, you think like T-Pain, just like really intense like auto-tune, but most songs, I'd say 99%, have a form of pitch correction. Maybe a singer hit like a perfect take, but one note was off or a couple little flat notes. You could just move that note up and no one would ever know. It doesn't sound like there's auto-tune. It doesn't sound like an effect. You're just fixing these couple little notes. So every song you hear has it. As far as like,
I'm talking about using that type of stuff during a live performance.
Oh, live performance. Yeah, that's rough. That's rough. I can get down with like a reverb pedal or something, but doing too much crazy effects is. There is one band they're called Purity Ring, and they're like they're more of like an electronic band, and they do a lot of vocal effects live, but they're really just cool. Like they have a crazy light show, and
nice.
That's a whole different thing. There's certain genres like pop and that kind of stuff where it's part of the show I can get with, but like a rock band or a punk rock band, even like with hip hop, if I go see a rapper and he has his vocal track behind him, he's just on top of his words, I don't like that. It feels cheap.
Yeah, I agree with you. One of my favorite bands, and it's not a punk band, it's Pink Floyd. And
get down with some Floyd.
Oh, dude, man, what a show they put on.
Right.
Even all the way back into the early days, the Syd Barrett days. I mean, they always put on a show. They always sounded amazing. Like, and that to me, that's when I say that I judge a band by their live performance, is do you sound as good live as you do on a recording, or do you sound better live? There are a lot of songs, even with Pink Floyd, that I don't like to listen to the studio version. I prefer to listen to the live version.
Right.
There's just something different about it. No,
I agree.
There's a different feel to it, different vibe to it. And I know it's really not related to it, but see, that's why I like to do a live podcast as opposed to do a pre-recorded one. There's just a different feel to it, different vibe to it,
I agree. I'm like an off the cuff kind of guy. So I don't like if somebody sends me like questions ahead of time, I don't even read them.
Yeah.
I feel like it's not authentic, I'm very much like, I try to be as authentic as I can. So I'd rather just go off the cuff with everything.
I have a producer. Her name is I call her Anonymous Angela, and it's a long story, but she helps me put together the show sometimes, most of the time. So she'll do all the back work for me while I'm at my regular job, and she'll put everything together, and she'll give me some general outlines, for the show. And 90% of the time, I don't even follow. I might.
I'm sure it drives her crazy.
Well, I hope she doesn't listen to this one because I don't want her to think that I'm not appreciating.
No more outlines for you. You're not getting another one.
She's great though. She is great, and I brag on her because she deserves it. I don't know how she does this. The reason why we call her Anonymous Angela is because she doesn't like a lot of her personal information getting out there. So I have to be very careful what I say. But she manages a household, kids, husband, work. She's involved in local politics where she lives. She is involved in a lot of political action committees, and she helps other podcasts. I don't know where the hell she finds time to do all this stuff that she does for this show. So and she's amazing. Awesome. She really is, and I really do appreciate her. And like with this one, she sent me about 16 guides, we call them. And I think I've actually asked you 3 of the 16. Everything else is just off the cuff, and that's the way I like to do it that way. One of the best compliments that I've ever had as doing the podcast has been that it just feels like a couple of guys sitting around by the grill, having a beer.
I like that. It's good.
It's fun.
I've been on a couple where it's just, you could tell they had the questions and you're getting the question no matter what. It's like, I just answered that question, your previous question, but you're still, now you're just going to kind of think of a new answer, which is cool too, but it's a different format.
Yeah, totally. And I heard one of the shows you were on from I think it was 2 days ago or 3 days ago, or at least it was released 2 or 3 days ago.
Was it Joe's? Might have also been Joe.
May have been.
Yeah, that was a cool one. He was a real cool guy.
Yeah, he was really good. I enjoyed it. And I love the story about the Nina Simone poster.
Yeah, I it's literally right over here.
Yeah, I think everybody had a Nina Simone poster.
Dude, just incredible.
Yeah,
one of the goats, as the young kids say.
Absolutely. So we'll hit some final thoughts here. So what do you hope that our listeners will walk away with from this conversation tonight?
Well, I mean, I hope that if anybody listen to this and they've maybe felt like they need something to do to just like get some of their anger out or anything, try to create something. Just sit down. I shouldn't say this because maybe it'll take business away from me, but there's so much stuff on YouTube now, and there's so many things online that you could learn how to do a song and be pretty good at it. And studio equipment, when I first started, you couldn't do a good song without a $2,000 microphone. You couldn't do a good song without a $10,000 interface. And now you can do a song with a mic under $500 and an interface for $100, and it's a radio hit. So there's no barrier to entry anymore. If it's something you've wanted to do, when I was getting my master's in music technology, there was a 70-year-old doctor that just loved music getting his as well. He's been a medical doctor for like 40 something years, and he wanted to career change at 70 to be a musician. It's like that's where we're at now. There's there's YouTube University. There, you know what I mean? You could figure it out pretty easily. On
my regular job, I hit YouTube a lot for a lot of things that I got to deal with at the regular job. Sometimes it's a big help.
YouTube's incredible. It is an incredible tool.
It is. Rumble's getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rumble's getting there. So
good.
And I have to push it because I'm a shareholder in Rumble. So.
Yeah. Push it. Look, plug it.
Full disclosure. Rumble.
Definitely plug it.
So who's somebody that you respect right now, and what are they doing that inspires you?
Oh man, there's so many people. I mean, I got to give a shout out to my wife because she's getting her business off the ground, Seed in Society, and she's also doing the public speaking thing, and just how hard she's working on it on top of doing her day to day it's very inspiring. As far as like music goes, I'm so fortunate to be around just like an incredible group of people. I've had clients. We opened the studio 16 years ago, and I've had clients since. Some of the same clients have been coming to me for 16 years.
That's awesome.
And just watching these guys grow, people like Trey Digga, or my business partner Ethan, a young guy Win that I've been working with, just super incredible, just people and artists that watching them just inspires me every day, going through life and just still finding time to put out music and put everything aside to just follow the dream is just incredible.
That's awesome, man. I like that answer. That's a good answer. I like that. I like the fact that you threw your wife into it because
no, she's amazing. My wife is amazing. She works very, very hard, and I'm very proud of her.
Awesome. All right, Steve, where can the audience go to get more about you, your work, and everything you're doing?
Well, I mean, you can reach out to me directly on any social media. It's just Steve Sxacks, Sxacks, on all social media platforms. Very Google friendly. You'll get probably way too much information about me on there. But you can head over to letsgoguy.com or stevesxacks.com or marstonhouse.studio. Any of those places, feel free to hit me up. If you want to book a session, marstonhouse.studio. That's the easiest way to do it. But if you just want to reach out to me about anything, any of those other ways is good.
Awesome. And we'll make sure we have some of the links. If you don't mind, I only have one web address for you. So if you can just shoot me a message with
okay.
With
yeah,
the
for sure.
links, so I can get them into the show notes for you.
Absolutely.
We'll get all that stuff out there. All right. Steve Sxacks, thank you so much, man. This was great. I really appreciate you taking the time to be with us tonight.
Joe, I appreciate you having me. It was a great conversation. Like you said, two guys just hanging out. That's my favorite.
And we'll do it again.
For sure. Anytime.
Right. Thank you so much,
brother.
I'll talk to you soon. All right. Steve Sxacks, folks, great interview. Really enjoyed talking to him. That was a lot of fun. Hope you guys got something out of that as well. All right, folks, podhome.fm is the most modern, easy-to-use podcast hosting platform on the market today. You can use it to publish your episodes, enhance your audio, automatically generate transcripts, chapters, titles, show notes, and more. You can even podcast live. That's right, podcast live through the modern podcast apps. And if you are you're just starting your podcast, you don't have a website, you could very easily get a website with podhome.fm. And it all comes down to a one-time, Barry will kill me, a monthly, I'm all tongue-tied. It's all based into a one. All right, I got to get that one crap out of my head. A monthly subscription of $15.99 a month. All right, a monthly subscription of $15.99 a month. And then sign up today, you get 30 days free. So you get 30 days to play with it, and then it's $15.99 a month after that. And it's actually like, seriously, it's like having a whole team working for you between the AI-generated chapters, titles, show notes, links, all that stuff. There's really very little you have to do other than just upload your audio. And that's great. And plus, they also have a backup feature where they can actually record your audio for you. And so you're good to go. You're golden. So try them out. Podhome.fm, and try it out for 30 days, then $15.99 a month. All right, just some really quick announcements before we wrap this up completely. Don't forget to sign up for the programming announcements email list that we have on our website. As soon as you get to the homepage, there'll be a little pop-up thing over there, and we'll get yourself on the mailing list. We're not going to sell you stuff. We're not going to pitch things to you. All it is information about the show. Changes, guests, cancellations, anything like that, just sign up for it. Stay in the know. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. All right. And I promise you, we're not going to sell you stuff. I'm just going to send you information about the show. All right. And then let's see. Don't forget tomorrow. Tomorrow we have our show with the CEO of Ezra Healing, Svetlana Rilkov. She'll be with us tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central Time, so make sure you are available for that with your questions. Please bring your questions. We would love to answer questions on the show. It's always a lot of fun. All right, and then social medias. Don't forget Twitter, Truth Social, Minds, and TikTok at Joe Rooz. Instagram is not Joe Rooz. Facebook is Joe Rooz Show, and hopefully we'll get in touch with you there. Oh, don't forget Getter at Joe Rooz as well. All right, quick shout outs to our executive producer, Wayne Rankin, executive producer, Rosanna Rankin, executive producer, Carolina Jimenez, and executive producer, Marissa Lee, and our producer, Anonymous Angela. Thank you guys so much for all that you do. Your time, your talent, your treasure is greatly appreciated to every single one of you guys. Thank you so very much. And let's see, also, if you want to help us out, if you want to become part of the team, very easy to do. Go to the support page, click that support button. You can do a one-time donation in any amount, a monthly recurring donation in any amount. You can do the associate producer tier at $17.76 a month, producer tier at $18.36 a month. Executive producer is $25 a month or more. And all of you get the shout outs on every show, like you just heard. You also get included in all show notes, all emails, everything that goes out from the show. You are included because your donations help us produce the show. So that's why you're producers. All right. Also, if you want to send us over any cryptos, we're happy to receive those as well. All of our wallet information is up there on the page. And if you want to check out the modern podcast apps, head over to modernpodcastapps.com and podcastindex.org. Try them out. And try out Podhome's web podcast player. Wow, I'm getting tongue-tied because Charlie's barking is distracting me. So check them all out. You're going to love them. Great apps, and they are so user-friendly. They're fantastic. You're going to love them. All right. I think that should just about do it for us for tonight. So, folks, thank you for being with us tonight and spending the time with us. I hope you guys really enjoyed that interview with Steve. That was great. And looking forward to see you guys tomorrow night. All right. Don't forget, folks, make Texas independent again. Go podcasting, keep a steady stride, and keep talking. Good night. Bye.
Happy trails to you. Until we meet again, happy trails to you. Keep smiling until then. Who cares about the clouds if we're together?
Just sing a song and bring the sunny weather.
Happy trails to you. Till we meet again. Some trails